My mentor is amazing. I spent 4 years just studying with her. She taught me so much. And hopefully tonight I can share something with you that might be game-changing for you. I have 3 rules for love. Are you having interest in the 3 rules?
Yeah.
Do you want to know what the 3 rules are?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not talking about platonic love. Platonic love, that's your friends. Agape love, we should love everyone. That's what we do. But what about eros, romantic love? That's the hardest one, in my opinion. Maybe yours. Romantic love. That's where everything changes. Now, I put these into C's so you can remember them. Now, what would you think is the first C that you absolutely need for romantic love? I'll take any guesses.
Compatibility.
Compatibility, commitment. Those are the things that are part of my C's.
Caring.
You know what?
Attraction.
Attraction. There you go. So I would say to you, I'm talking romantic love. Romantic love. Correct me if I'm wrong. You need chemistry. You need chemistry. And the funny thing is, you just can't make it. Chemistry is like this. Duck, 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 goose. All of a sudden you meet somebody and you feel the chemistry for them. And this is kind of like a gift from God. And also a curse from God. We're not sure how it's going to turn out. But this gift from God, but it's very interesting because chemistry, from a biological standpoint, it's this. When you get within, I'm not getting too close to you, but when you get within 30 inches of someone, you pick up the pheromones of the other person. And the pheromones contain the DNA of the other person. And what the pheromones are teaching you, what the DNA wants, is nature is very smart. So nature does this. It says, look, let's say it's for a woman. Find someone a little like your dad and a little not like your dad. Because we want diversity in the gene pool. But we also reward success. So say what you want about your parents. And my mom, rest her peace. They were successful. We are all successful in the gene pool. Otherwise, we would not be here. Mind you, there are plenty of genes who are not on this planet. And you're not one of them. Why? Because of your parents. So your parents give you this genetic code, but they also teach you how to love. And that can be good, and that can be bad. So if you had loving parents, like my wife, she had very loving parents. And when I met her, I could not understand a word of it. Because I was raised in an alcoholic home, my father was an alcoholic, but I learned a lot of things that I had to unlearn. So what I'm trying to tell you is there are things you can learn, and there's a lot of things you might want to unlearn. My first premise is we need chemistry, because for a romantic relation, we can't live without it very long. Have you ever tried to be in a relationship with somebody, you like them, but you just don't have enough chemistry? Don't do that. It's too painful. And it's too painful for them, because you know what? They could just go down the street and someone would think they were amazing. That's how it is. There's a lid for every pot. So if your lid is not fitting your pot, let them go. Be kind. Chemistry. Now, I can't give you that. I'm a great relationship coach, but I'm not that good. You have to find your own chemistry. But the second one, and this is what I've been working on, is I'm just going to give it to you. Sometimes I make people guess. Courtship. Courtship is very interesting. Courtship is a test of time. And it takes a year to get to know somebody. Let's be real. You should see them in all seasons. You never know what's going to happen in December. Because there are 4 seasons to a relationship. When you first meet somebody, it's called the perfect phase, the honeymoon phase. And we love the honeymoon phase because it's all built on chemistry. And it is the best time. And you can talk to them all night. You can have sex all day. It is amazing for 3 months. 3 months. And that's called the perfect phase. And some people never make it past the perfect phase because they hit that 30-month wall and they go, you know what? I just don't feel like I love you anymore. No, they just don't feel that they lust you anymore. There's a difference. Because love is a very different thing than lust. Because chemistry is just your body. My body likes your body. Great. I'm so excited. I really am. But it's going to take much more than that if we're going to make it to love. And the first thing is chemistry. But the second thing is what I'm saying is courtship. Do you know why for millions of years we've had courtship? And that it takes time to get to know somebody? Because we have to find out if we are compatible. Which is another one someone said. Compatible. But it takes time. And you can't find that out until the chemistry starts to wear off a little bit. Because if the chemistry's on, it doesn't matter where they're from. So if you meet someone from Peru, for example, if you have chemistry, it doesn't matter. But after 3 months, unless you're moving to Peru, it starts to matter. So compatibility means, do your lives fit together? Is it capable of fitting together? And that comes in a lot of different ways. Compatibility means, do you have the same wants and desires? Do you have the same goals in life? And this is what I would tell you, and I would take this home. You know, you should be writing this stuff down. I forgot to tell you. See, write shit down. It might save your life. You never know. This is what I would tell you, is compatibility always trumps chemistry. And I'm not talking about Donald Trump. I'm talking about Trump's chemistry beats chemistry. So I don't care. Like people tell me, I met this guy, he's so amazing. Or I met this girl, she's so amazing. I said, that's great. But are we compatible? And that's a test of time. And like I told you, it doesn't matter. You have to be compatible. You know what compatible means? Lust means my body likes you. Compatibility means my mind likes you. This is a very different thing. My mind likes you. And you have to think about that. Because do you know that relationships, have you ever relationships, you know how they end? A lot of times you can still love the person, but you don't like them. Isn't that interesting? You stop liking them. Which means that liking is very important. And you might want to get that up front. You might want to get that up front. Make sure you like the person. See how they are over time. And time really tells, because it tells you how they, what I always try to find out is how people handle situations. How do they do things? And the most important thing to me is, do they make and keep their agreements? This will tell you the whole deal. The whole deal. Because that's what it really takes. So when you're starting out with somebody, I just want to know, if they say, I'm going to call you Friday at 5, does that phone ring? Because if it does, it shows you the person has some kind of character. And they have some ability that might be able to be compatible with you. Which brings me to my third point, which I think is really where the rubber hits the road. Because you can kind of like somebody, that's your mind. You can lust somebody, that's your body, that was easy. But to love somebody, this is going to take a commitment from you. And my teacher was very fond of this, and she was a brilliant woman. And she said this. She said, and I'll write this down, but it might take you too long. The only way that you know you love yourself or anyone else is by the commitments you're willing to make and keep. That's it, I can go home now. The only way you know you love yourself is by the commitments you're willing to keep. So what I want to know is, do people keep their agreements with you? This is the hard part of love. It is easy to like people, it is easy to lust people, but it is hard to negotiate with people. Because the problem with relationships, if you're going to be in them, is you're going to get some of what you want, and you're going to get some of what you don't want. And most of the day that I spend when I'm working with people is teaching people how to negotiate, how to communicate. Because that's the hard part. Because what I would say to you is, if you meet someone and you have chemistry with that person is your teacher. I'm your coach, but the person in front of you is teaching you everything you know. And that's why we have chemistry, because the chemistry shows you who's your next teacher. And they're bringing you a very important lesson. They teach you two things. They teach you what you want, and they teach you what you don't want. And these are very important. And don't want is very important. Now what I call people every time you meet someone you have chemistry with, for no matter how time, it's always a gift. Even if it was like a week. Because if they're teaching what you don't want, they're called muscle builders. They're building muscles for you. And they're teaching you how to love yourself. If they're teaching what you do want, they're taking you to the next level. Because at the end of the day, what is so hard, I try to tell people, I don't mind people mistakes, and I want someone who's willing to fight with you. Because relationships are not built on the good days. They're not. They're built on the bad days. You only know if somebody loves you if they stick around when they don't like you. It's easy when they like you. But that's when you find out the character of the person. The reason I married my wife is one thing. Well, not more than one. Hopefully. Don't tell her I said that. One, she kept all her agreements. And when people keep their agreements, you start to see a very important thing. And why is it courtship? It's a test of time, because time shows you the character of the person. And at the end of the day, why are we celebrating Matt's life? His character. Why are we celebrating Kobe's life? His character. Why do I have blessings from my mom? Because of the gift she gave me. It takes character. It takes chemistry. You gotta have it. We live too long to not have chemistry. It takes courtship. You gotta take the time to get to know someone. See if you're truly compatible. And in the end, the only way you know you love yourself or anyone else is the commitments you're willing to make. If you put those things together, you have a chance at a really great life. And the most important lesson you can learn, and I hope you learn this tonight from everyone, is to learn.